All right, everybody, welcome back to coverage here of the Mana Trader series in April, featuring Pioneer. My name is Corey Baumeister. That's Ross Merriam. We're going to be bringing you coverage here, and we're going to be checking out that really sweet deck. But we're still at kind of the end of round 5. We have one match kind of in garbage time finishing up. So while we do that, we're going to take a look at the tournament a little bit. We're going to start with the standings to get a better picture of kind of what's remaining and what we have. So Ross, you picked up some good information of what do we got for the XO. So let us know about that.
Yeah, so I looked over the XO bracket. We've got 15 players at 5-0 right now. Most popular deck among them, Mono Green Devotion with 5 copies. This was
Okay.
not the most played deck in the field.
No, I think it was like third or something. We're going to take a look at the metagame after this, but yeah.
Rakdos mid-range, our most popular deck, has 3 copies in that 15 field,
Okay.
which is
let's take a look at the metagame when we talk about this.
which is about what you would expect. It was a little over 20% of the metagame. It's 20% of our 5-0s.
Yeah.
So Mono Green was second most at 14%, but it is 33% of our 5-0.
Yeah.
So it having a very good day. And then the rest of our 5-0 field is divided. There's 7 singletons among the other decks to round out those 15. We've got 1 copy of Lotus Field, 1 copy of Boros Heroic, 1 copy of Mono Blue Spirits. Is it Phoenix that we saw win last round? Mono Black midrange that we saw win last round? A Gruel Boats and an Azorius Control. So notably, among these top play decks that you see on our metagame, no Absent Greasefang at 5-0, no Mono White Humans. Those are the decks that are potentially lagging behind today, whereas Rakdos midrange and Mono Green Devotion are rising to the
there's
top.
no blue white control either, right?
There's 1.
Oh, there is 1. Okay. Gotcha. Well, impressive stuff there. So let's take a look at the second page of the metagame. This is where we're going to be seeing a lot of the decks that we have here. It's a lot in the other category. We have some Gruel decks. We have 1 Phoenix deck, 1 Gruel deck, but otherwise, like you said, a lot of the other stuff, which is pretty cool, I must
Heroic
say.
Spirits, Mono Black midrange, so 3 decks that would be firmly be in the other. So that's 20% when it was 10% of the field.
Makes sense that Green Devotion is doing the best though on week 1 like this, when people they're cutting some of their direct hate for certain matchups for some of the new cards, right? I mean, it's human nature. You want to play with the new cards when you're giving them, even if it's just a 1 or 2 of, and then you look back and be like, I just made my deck worse, but that's okay.
You know what that card doesn't beat? 14 mana.
Yeah, 14 mana. Oh, it's turn 4? Excellent. So we're going to take a look at the next feature match deck list here. We have Mono Black Midrange, which is 5-0. We can't not bring you this one. It looks pretty sweet. Ross, tell us about this masterpiece.
Yeah, very similar deck here to Rakdos Midrange. We've got Early Disruption with Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, some other removal spells. We've got Graveyard Trespassers, some good 2-drops. Gifted Aetherborn being the choice over a Bloodtithe Harvester.
Okay. Yep.
Aetherborn has some advantages. 3 toughness means it doesn't die to some of the early red removal, like a Fiery Impulse before they have Spell Mastery.
Bone Crusher Giant.
But yeah, Stomp, a big one. And then, Death Touch and Lifelink means that its body is going to be relevant later. And then the real big, major gain here is those 4 copies of Invoke Despair. Yeah. Obviously an easy card to cast with this mana base and a very powerful card. And between Invoke Despair and Shieldred, the Apocalypse, and Sign in Blood, you have an odd amount of reach, and we've seen that come into play in a couple of these games.
We have Sign in Blood when you have Shieldred on play is 6 damage to the face, and if they go to draw step and they still don't have an answer for it, it's 8 damage here. So yeah, this deck definitely looks to be real. The sideboard, a little random in the sense where there's just a lot of 1-ofs, but they seem like a lot of the cards fill a similar role. You got 3 Wrath effects, you got 4 hand disruptions, you got some mass removal, as well as some artifacts that'll help you out. So yeah, really cool stuff. Let's see if our players are ready here. Maybe we're still... Okay, cool. Pairings are heading out right now. So we'll see what our opponent is playing against for Mono Black. But other than that, we're narrowing down on this tournament though, Ross. After 5 rounds, there are definitely a ton of people that are eliminated. I think anyone that's at 3-2 at this point, pretty much out of top 8. It's that big of a tournament.
Yeah, there are going to be some X2s that make the cut, but because there are going to be so many X2s, it's going to be ones with very, very good tiebreakers, likely ones that did not take their losses early.
Yes.
So Yeah, I would say I would agree with you. I would say right now all the 3/2s probably drawing dead for that top 8, but
Yeah.
miracles can happen, I guess.
Absolutely. Okay, so what would now that we got a little time to kill, what would you play if you were qualified for this event? Well, I guess not qualified, but
Yeah.
if you were not commentating it and you decided to spend your afternoon playing a bunch of Pioneer, what would have been your deck choice?
So I am a big fan of creativity. I like the versatility of plans that it has. Um, I am also a big fan of another fringe deck right now, and that is the Neoform Atraxa deck.
Yeah.
That's a deck that has really powerful draws. Obviously, just putting Atraxa onto the battlefield
Yeah,
as
I'm
early
surprised
as
we're not seeing any of
turn
this.
3. But it gets to play good disruption. It plays Fatal Push and Thoughtseize. I think
Yeah.
Stubborn Denial is excellent right now.
Yeah.
And goes really well in the deck. So as a deck that has powerful over the top game plan, built-in card advantage, and 3 of the best 1 mana pieces of interaction in the format,
Yeah.
sign me up.
Yeah, and honestly, that card really gives me Demir Inverter vibes.
Yeah.
Like you get to play those really awesome blue-black cards, but then you have this over-the-top finish. Now, the problem is your over-the-top finish isn't I win the game anymore. But to be fair, that was broken and it had to be banned, So,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I don't. It's not quite at that level in terms of because the over the top is just put a big creature onto the battlefield and
Yeah,
plenty of
and
decks
draw
deal
a
with
bunch
big
of
creature.
cards and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're drawing 1 mana counter spell because it works with Atraxa, where Stubborn Denial, you just get to do that. Like I'm here for it.
It makes
pretty
me.
sweet.
It reminds me of it makes me think of creativity.
Yeah.
Where Neoform is your creativity, but it's a much leaner card. It
Mhm.
demands a little bit less of your mana base. It doesn't make you play these weird cards that just make tokens so that you can enable it.
Yep.
And instead, you have to play like Delve creatures, which I think are just better cards. Tassigers and Hooting
Yeah.
Mandrills.
Yeah, just
So
good cards to play with Stubborn Denial backup. That's a tempo swing. If
Yeah.
you play it and your opponent's like 4 mana removal spell or something on it and you stub it, like get wrecked.
now the main issue is that it doesn't really have the juke game plan that creativity does.
Yeah.
And that's where its weakness is. But Neoform is a harder card to hate out than
Yeah.
creativity. If your opponents are playing a bunch of counter spells, Neoform plus Stubborn Denial is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, no, that checks out to me. So, all right, sounds like we still got a little bit of time. Let's check out that standing page another second while we get ready for these pairings to be checked out. And we'll just take a look at some of the individual lists that are doing well here. All right, so there we go at the top. Let's take a look at that Boros aggro deck as well. That is the heroic deck, but this is something I want to take a peek on as well. And even if this is our first match that we get paired, that's something I feel like we can definitely check out them and then check out Mono Black after this. Whichever one fires first, because I have a feeling this one will be done a little bit sooner. But this is another deck that completely fell off. This was not a card that we see played anymore. But maybe there's a new card that gives it life. I guess there is.
Yeah.
Kenra Spell Spear.
Yeah,
Oh, baby.
1 in a red, 2/2 trample prowess, and you can pay 3 in a Phyrexian blue to transform it at sorcery speed. And the
Yeah.
transform is a 3/3 trample ward 2 prowess.
Prowess. Yeah.
So
That'll get some work done. You go Defiant Strike, Ancestral Anger, and God's Willing on that. Well, all of a sudden you have, a 9, 10, 11 power attacker coming in.
Yeah, that's a card that can get really out of hand. And similar vein to Illuminator Virtuoso, which I think is a
Yeah.
key card in the deck. So you really want those over the top creatures that can sort of combo kill as early as turn 3 or 4. And Kenra gives you that. Be
Yeah, pretty
interesting to
cool.
know how relevant that card has been. Only 2 copies, so not liking it as much as 10th District Legionnaire.
And Illuminator Virtuoso is the card, right? Like that's kind of the reason to be playing this. And then
Okay.
otherwise you need your 1-drops. So yeah, it makes sense that this is the
No.
worst of the options.
Notably, no copies of Dreadhorde Arcanist in the list. That's been a common card in this
Oh
deck
yeah.
to give it card advantage. They're going more all in. I need to kill
I
you
need to
quickly.
kill you. This deck is definitely faster. Arcanist is something that when I was like playing a lot of mono green, I'm like, yeah, sure. Go ahead, play that.
Yeah.
Arcanist isn't exactly what it used to. And it used to be completely busted.
Arcanist has always been at its best when you're casting interactive spells, when you're thought seizing
Yeah.
your opponent with it.
Like Rakdos mid-range playing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never been as good in decks like this. Still good enough to play, but now you've got another 2-drop that is more over the top, fitting with this deck's game plan.
Totally agree. Totally agree. So let's see. Looks like we got a match ready to go. And this is John Rapp here with that mono black mid range coming in as our top gamer. I'm excited for this, Ross.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see more Shieldreds dealing like 12 damage. I want to see double. I want to see Shieldred into double Sign of Blood.
Yes, yes. I'm in for that. I'm in for that. So it looks like we are going to be up against Raced, which is a very good Magic Online player. These players are XO playing Lotus Field. Uh-oh. That doesn't seem like a good matchup, I'll tell you that.
But if they're on the list that only wins with Peer,
yeah,
can you beat a Shieldred? I guess you can deck them?
Let's see. You can that's a good question.
Yeah, most of the time, because you're not dealing any damage, right?
I mean, for sure Otawara. That's for sure a thing.
But even if your opponent's if your opponent's at 16, right?
Yeah.
You have to cast it 5 times to kill them. So, and that's going to be the case a lot of times, unless they double Thoughtseize you. So you're going to have to cast it 4 or 5 times to kill them with damage. You only have to cast it 6 times to kill them with decking. So it really just means to beat Shieldred, you just have to be able to cast it 1 more time. and then they deck.
Well, I mean, you can't cast it to target yourself. That's the main thing. Like most of the time you need that push of getting 20 cards.
That is also true.
Yeah.
But you can work around that a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, well, looks like on the other hand, this opening hand is terrible. It was a huge mulligan there, and we get the Lotus Field, but you have the Thespian Stage as one of your lands. I mean, yeah, Race Draw was basically as close to unplayable as it gets.
Yeah.
While still being functional,
But it was a mulligan of 5, so.
Yeah.
Okay, Hidden String's a good draw. Interesting deciding to, because they have the Thespian Stage, they want to play the Balagad first, then next turn we'll be able to go Lotus Field, copy a stage with the trigger on the stack, sack the 2 non-Lotus Field lands, and then be set up for next turn.
Yep, that makes sense to me.
So 2 turns we'll be able to cast.
And you're probably going to have plenty of time against this matchup. You see a deck like mono black mid-range where you see a ton of hand disruption, you see Sign in Blood, stuff like that, like doesn't seem super important.
Field of Ruin, the Thespian Stage. That's good.
Now let's see if there's a basic. There probably is, but Breeding Pool. You can no, you do need the basic.
You're thinking of Boseiju.
I sure am. So now you still have the Lotus Field, but that does make the game plan a lot harder. And you can start. I guess you can Dark Petition.
Good choice of basic island. I like that one. That's an onslaught land.
Ooh, that is nice. That's the first set I played. Doesn't want a Vizier here, it looks like. That was an option.
Yeah, that would have gotten.
You could Vizier Hidden Strings, and then you're like doing nothing.
Yeah, it would have got you to 4 mana.
Yeah.
If that was enough to Dark Petition, I would have considered it.
It is with the Hidden Strings, but yeah, that's not ideal. And now just a bunch of Sign in Bloods. You're going to want to Sign in Blood and then find a Thoughtseize here. Yeah. Misery Shadow. I mean, I think at this point you play it, and then next turn Sign in Blood for more interaction, or you just Sign in Blood right now.
I like the Shadow. Yeah,
me too.
Let's get our clock down.
Okay. We'll see if there's anything Race can do about this. Boseiju off the top. 5 mana. I mean, this is probably Emergent Ultimatum, right?
5.
So you go
6, 7, 8. So we get to 8 mana, right?
Yeah, it's just the combination that makes it all wonky. So I think if you go blue, 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 then you float 1 blue. Yeah, this has got to be enough. 2 blue is kind of awkward, though.
Well, we're going to need another blue for the Hidden String. So now we make green, make one of them. Yeah, make black. Float.
Blue, black. And then you untap green. You even have an extra blue floating.
Yeah.
I guess you can first play Leer?
No. We could have ordered to be floating any color of mana we wanted.
Well, this was a mull to 5. And
Yeah.
it looks like they're gonna win. I don't think you can win on the spot with only one mana flooding. I think this will go to another because you get omniscience, behold, you just have to break that up.
Well,
And then dark petition,
with the other petition in hand, it might be good enough.
maybe because you get hidden strings, I guess.
Yeah.
And then that adds a bunch of mana, and then you play Lyra and hidden strings again. So yeah, it's probably enough with having the other dark petition in hand. Dark petition, pour over thy pages. Okay.
So now we could emerge an ultimatum again if we wanted to, with another hidden strings back. So this dark petition can find hidden strings, and we can.
Either way, it looks like as long as our opponent doesn't screw up, they look like they got it.
Yeah, just no disruption found for John Rapp, and really, in their main deck, it's just Thoughtseize.
Yeah, no duresses. So this is definitely going to be a case where the mono black mid range, number one, ran into the matchup they don't want at all, for sure. This is, you don't want to play against combo, and if you have to play against combo, you want it to be creature combo, like mono green. You can have some good tools against that, but this kind of combo is not what you want.
No, it is not. Ooh, interesting. We didn't cast the hidden strings from hand before this emergent ultimatum. And now we're casting the ultimatum with just a black floating.
Yeah, you need blue most of the time.
Well, we can get pour plus.
You can get pour, hidden
omniscience.
strings, omniscience.
We can just get pour omniscience, something like dark petition.
Yeah.
Okay, we got hidden strings and pour. So
okay, you gotta make sure you do this right, because the pour resolves, and then you're targeting these lands. So you gotta make sure and tap them before your spell resolves.
We have done so.
And yep, and I mean this is with the old single Lotus field, which is pretty nice. I believe there hasn't been a land played, so you can get the second Lotus field in play and hidden strings now, and then it's just completely wrapped up.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. And yeah, this was a mull to 5, maybe even 4, to be honest.
All the manas.
All the things in the world. Life is good.
They don't have another land drop because it's turn 5. Lotus Field represents 3 land drops. The other 2 lands.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, there's Grazer in the deck, so who knows? But all right, there's Omniscience. There's Lear. You can ball again recovery to get one big thing. Impulse, Dark Petition. But you are out of blue mana once again.
Well, there's Behold the Beyond.
Okay.
That should do it.
That'll do it.
Oh, they're a list with the Mastermind's acquisition.
Okay. Yeah, and I believe this is the approach version.
Yeah.
So this is maybe the...
So this is easy mode.
There we go. Yeah.
Approach, Behold the Beyond, find the approach, play the approach.
I love that there's just so many weird ways to win, but they all involve giant 7-mana sorceries. Yeehaw!
They're just playing a commander deck, okay?
Yes. Yeah, Lotus Field is about as close to a commander deck as possible. So, all right, this is mono black. It didn't look good. Ross, how do we make it better?
Okay, I would bring in the Go Blank. I'd bring in the Necromancers. Bring in the Duresses.
Necromancer is going to be great.
I would bring, is Pithing Needle at all relevant? Yeah, bring in the Pithing Needle on
right?
Thespian Sage.
Oh, yeah, okay. Got to get it early.
And bring in the Needle. Those are your cards that can disrupt them. Are you expecting them to bring in any creature plan? You have Liliana to deal with that, so I wouldn't have any removal in my deck if I could. Just rely on Liliana to deal with big creatures. So you're going to want to bring out 4 Fatal Push and Power Word Kill and go for the third at the very least. Hopefully these Murderous Riders can get out too.
Yep. So you got a lot of cards you want out. It's more of a product of how many cards you need out of the deck.
Yeah. So you got 6 to 8 that you want out, and you've got 2 Necromancer, 2 Duress, a Go Blank, and a Pithing Needle is 6. So are there any other cards you would prefer to Murderous Rider? I think Hearse is better.
Yeah. Or Bankbuster, to be honest. But yeah, even Invokes are bad, right? Like, they're always just going to be fireballs and stuff, you know, which I think you just need. But, like, those could be trimmed as well. because they're basically unplayable.
Yeah, but really the only other options you have are Hearse and Bankbusters. So yeah, we're just getting out the removal for more disruption, which is going to help quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so, the ideal is to go like Thoughtseize you, 2-drop creature, 3-drop like Go Blank you or Necromancy you, and then Shield Rid, and then you're off to the races.
Yep, that checks out to me. And yeah, it would have been crazy. I mean, this isn't the Peer list, so maybe the Shield Rid plan is just bad.
Yeah,
I mean, it was much better against Peer,
still
but
good against 4 of the pages.
it's okay.
It's just, it's just a clock.
You're pretty fine taking 8 if it means you get to win the game.
Yeah.
So it does help that it is just a faster creature for sure. So
yeah, we're going to improve quite a bit with from the mono black side. Taking a look at the list from Reyes, our Lotus Field player, their sideboard, they do have some Dramokas, which seem bad, and 1 Zakama. That's the only creatures they have in the sideboard. So not much in the way of creatures to bring in. They've got some sweepers. I imagine some of those will come in. It's all singletons.
Yep, that looks like a click back to me if I've ever seen that sideboard. This seems like a matchup where you're favored. You're not bringing in a lot of changes. There's no damping sphere, so you don't have to do anything about that.
Yeah, so you don't really want Terra Sunder or anything like that. It's like Cyclonic Rift. Narset's Reversal is kind of cute against Invoke Despair.
But kind of cute. That's really cute.
Yeah. It just doesn't seem that relevant. I think we're just bringing in some sweepers.
Well, I think the reversals are just good enough against hand disruption too, where I think I'm probably bringing them in. But then again, what are you taking out? Like maybe take out Baral, Chief of Compliance, and a Grazer or 2 or something. But we'll see. All right, Unbeatable Grazer in the hand. You got Lotus Field, 2 other lands. That's a big old check for Reyes. Is it Raced? Reyes.
Raced. I'm not sure.
Not sure. Okay.
And John Mulligan, the hand that had a Thoughtseize. I didn't get a look of it in time to see the entirety.
This one has Necromentia. What do you hit though?
Usually in the postboard games you go Hidden Strings, but with this list, you might go something.
Wait, if you're on the play, can't you hit Lotus Field?
You can, but not against Unbeatable
Boreal Grazer. Yeah, baby, let's go, Boreal Grazer.
Unbeatable
Grazer. Yeah, and I like that. Keep the hand that allows you to go turn 3 Necromentia.
But there is the Zakama. So they brought that in as an anti-Necromentia plan. That makes
Dino
sense.
time.
It's always Dino time.
It's always Dino time.
Dino time is a state of mind.
Tell that to a giant meteor. All right, here we go. Unbeatable Grazer coming down. I would hope it's not Lotus Field. Yep, it's Breeding Pool. Get that into play. And now the Necromentia plan of taking your Lotus Field is no longer good. As long as Lotus Field does get cast, then Necromentia or Go Blank, still great plays, but not as backbreaking.
Okay, so we just play the Lotus Field. Nothing else to do. And
another Lotus Field off the top. Pretty bad, but a free card to discard to Go Blank if that's the case.
So now you often name Hidden Strings with these Necromentions when they have the Lotus Field already, and they probably have some extra win conditions in their deck.
Yeah, I can see it. Or you just Go Blank here, and then you just say, I don't think you can combo with such low resources yet. So step number 1, you attack. Make sure your opponent calls the bluff. You don't want to pump anyways, but step 1, that's correct to do. Maybe you get away with 2 damage here.
Yeah, get your shock check.
Our Boreal Grazer was meant to block. Blocking it shall.
Blocks Diamond.
Blocks Diamond?
That's his name.
Yeah, I like it. All right, Necromentia. What is the name? Bet it's not Zakama. Bet it's not Lotus Field. I bet it's either Emergent Ultimatum or Hidden Strings. Now, it is open deck list, so you do have, free answers to what to name, and I still don't know. All right, it is Hidden Strings. So Hidden Strings will be gone. That will come with a 2/2, I believe.
Yep.
And get that out of there. And then you're going to look at this hand and be like, Go Blank, clean it up, You're going to have that free discard with Lotus Field, but if there's You probably just got to play Balaged's Recovery as a land and then discard Lotus Field or something. But either way, it looks pretty brutal.
Okay, so now we'll go Temple. Temple.
Rudy Temple.
And we're casting Balaged Recovery on Breeding Pool. Okay. Guess Breeding Pool better than a tapped forest.
Okay. Makes sense. And now let's see. Go blank into Invoke looks pretty strong here. Now you get to do the attack again, but this time you do get to pump.
Yep.
You got that extra mana.
Makes it even more important to attack the previous turn.
Yep.
Now they're just going to block again.
More than likely. Ooh. Sensed it.
Trixie. We'll still pump once.
Yeah, still get a pump in.
Take 3.
And then send that go blank. And what do? Do you just discard the 2 lands or? You're not top decking Hidden Strings to attack the Emergent Ultimatum.
You're definitely discarding Lotus Field, and you're definitely keeping Zakama.
You think so? I think Zakama is even more impossible to cast without Hidden Strings. I
just think it's virtually impossible to win the game without Hidden Strings the other way.
That's a good point. Yeah, definitely Lotus Field. We agreed on that. And then it could be any of the 3 cards, and I'd believe it. Pause for opponent to make the decision.
If Go Blank was just a Mind Rod, if there wasn't an exile part, I might just discard both spells, assuming that I have Balaged Recoveries to get back gas, and I just need mana.
Yeah. Could be, but yeah, you might be priced in to keep Zakama. You're right, just because, well, it's gone forever if you don't. But
they decided Ultimatum was better, then drew a second one.
I was like, they gained ultimatums? Oh, okay. Well, that was a little punishing then.
Yeah, gonna be hard to win this game.
But not impossible.
Turns out this matchup is a lot better when you disrupt the opponent.
Well, the best possible draw for our race is Sylvan Scrying or Thespian Stage for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, now I really do like how John has played every step of this game. Obviously, there wasn't a million decisions, but I like invoking first. Be like, if you want to keep the Grazer, you'll get to block, but it's the worst creature. Has played really tight. That Thoughtseize looks like it'll be a decent draw, but I mean, if Thespian Stage is on top, it's not going to look as good. That's for sure.
And at this point, the Misery Shadow is going to end the game rather quickly.
Yeah, Misery Shadow is going to go fast.
We'll blink in for 2, and now it's a 2-turn clock. You got 1 block, so you have 3 turns.
Yep.
It's a good draw.
That was a good one. 1 mana, draw 3. Hello. Wow, okay. Can't cast another one, which is kind of awkward, but... And it will get hit by Thoughtseize almost assuredly. So that was actually one of the worst pour of the pages possible.
Yeah, Botanical Sanctum just not a good draw at this point.
No. All right, but has 3 bangers, so Thoughtseize has to hit 1, and then you can top deck a land to 3. Actually, you can't. You can't top deck a traditional land because you need the triple block. That's the problem. So you take pour over the pages, you will not be getting Emergent Ultimatum next turn, no matter what. That's pretty good. Now you could go Urborg. No, do not play that Urborg. Then you can get Emergent Ultimatum.
Yeah, that's that could be a disaster.
Play Takenuma. Yeah, play Takenuma. You can easily Murderous Rider down the token if you want, or you can just attack. It's almost the same.
Well, no, because if you kill the token and pump twice, you get them to 7, and it's lethal next turn. Just denying them a block.
Yep, you're right. It's much better. And now you can Ultimatum. Yeah, that Urborg could have been a train wreck.
Yeah. Good catch from John Rapp there.
John played this game perfectly. Like 100% flawlessly, in my opinion. Even with the perfect information, just looked great.
Oh. Whoa! That's going to buy some time.
Yeah, well, it'll buy a few turns. That was solid. That was absolutely... Still don't play that Urborg, though.
Yeah.
Even though it'll be so tempting because then you can castle. Now, almost like duress and then activate castle. It doesn't increase your clock to play Murderous Rider this turn. You can do that next turn. But you know about double emergent ultimatum, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Well, if you activate castle, you could find another discard spell.
Thoughtseize. Yeah, that's true. I think that's what I would do, but
You could potentially increase your clock with Murderous Rider by drawing Sign in Blood or Shieldred, though.
oh, that's a good point. Okay. Reasonable.
Invoke is, of course, going to kill them regardless, so that doesn't really change the decision.
Yeah, just don't play Urborg. That's all. Just forget it's in your hand. That's my advice.
One emergent ultimatum down. I think I would just play the Rider.
Yeah. I think I would just castle, but I think it's so close. I just want to have another chance to draw a duress before they can go land. And I want to max out on that. Murderous Rider was the play.
But you're going to play the Rider next turn if you miss, just to increase your clock. So you're only going to get one castle activation regardless, and you can duress after the castle activation on your next turn.
Yeah, I suppose that checks out. All right, so that is still not emergent ultimatum now, surprisingly. You still need a top deck. Okay, but castle, activate castle, and if it's not a Thoughtseize or a duress or a go blank or a necromentia, then there's a live draw to cast it, but I don't even think it like straight wins the game by any means anymore, you know? It'll probably do some things. Sign in Blood! Wow, okay, all right, yep.
Now we won't get to find out if Emergent Ultimatum could have got it back in the game.
Yeah, and that ended up being the very much correct play, playing Murderous Rider first. Wow, John played that game so well.
I imagine the set you were going to get off of Ultimatum would have been Omniscience, Dark Petition, and any sweeper.
Yeah.
With the idea that if they don't give you the sweeper, you can Dark Petition for it and cast it off the Omniscience.
Yeah.
So they basically have to give you Dark Petition sweeper.
Yeah.
Or Omniscience sweeper.
Well, you'd give him Omniscience. You don't have any cards in it.
Yeah.
You give him Omniscience.
But that could get, Would you rather give them a Demonic Tutor to their hand or Omniscience in play?
Well, an Omniscience because they die on the spot.
No, but you're going to get the sweeper regardless.
You're going to get the sweeper. And that's if the sweepers came in.
Yeah.
You know, like it is not for sure that they came in the first place.
Yeah, not for sure. I'm assuming that they did.
Well, that was definitely the game John had to win there. Played pretty tight. And now it is going to be Lotus Field on the play, which is a big, big, big difference.
Yeah. You know, and that was a very solid draw. Had everything but like the turn one Thoughtseize.
Yeah. Yep. That would have been good. But yeah, I mean, honestly, pretty solid draws from both parts. But the Necromentia got a card and just a lot of annoyances outside of that. So yeah, impressive stuff.
And the Necromancer would have been even better without the Arboreal Grazer.
Unbeatable Grazer. Yeah. Put some respect on that name.
Well, it wasn't so unbeatable that game.
Touche. Touche.
And the really impressive card I actually think was Misery Shadow, because that's the card that you play turn 2, get a little damage in, and then once you're done casting all of your disruption, you just sink all your mana into that and kill them really quickly.
Misery Shadow is a great Magic card. I mean, I remember back in my day, Nantuko Husk. You know, I mean, that was wait, was that the one or
Nantuko Husk was sack a creature against plus?
Oh yeah, no, okay. I'm thinking Slith Firewalker. That was the pump spell of choice.
Yeah.
Or there's a lot of cards that were like fire breathing to pump. Just pumping it. Or wait, is Nantuko Shade?
Shade, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing it was going off of.
You know, the first deck I ever played in Extended was Mono Red, where you went turn 1 land Krillmock, Slith Firewalker, turn 2 Tanklewire.
Oh yeah. Hey, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Was Ross. That's
there's depopulates. We know at least one sweeper came in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this hand is also there's no second. Oh, there's Balagad. So we can go turn 1 Balagad, turn 2 Boseiju Scry, turn 3 Lotus Field, but then
this hand 2 of Thoughtseize loses the game on the spot. So that's the thought.
And it's not even that good when you keep it.
It really isn't. Like you don't have a lot going on. I think you have to mulligan that. But I could also just see not wanting to mulligan against this type of deck.
Meanwhile, John Rapp up top has a bunch of double black cards and only 1 black source, so that one gets sent back.
There is Thoughtseize, a much more functional hand from both players.
Only the 1 land, though.
Oh, that's a mold of 5 up top, and you got a bank buster, so you have to keep.
Ooh.
You're not going to 4, are you?
I don't think so, but this is not a good 5. Granted, this is a mediocre. It's an okay 6.
It's pretty bad from Race as well. Yeah, those are some just heinous draws against heinous
You got
draws.
double impulse. You got 10 draws to a Lotus Field.
That's true. That's true.
Then
It's
we're doing
just not
things.
ideal.
It's not.
All right, a Hidden Strings picked up, also not ideal. Shieldred picked up, also, well, that's pretty good, actually. All right, here's Bankbuster. And Impulse.
Banks.
Do we got the land? Someone's crying, that's the land. It's a little bit more work to it, but that's step 1. You need to put Lotus Field into play, yes. And then you can go from there, because now you know you can't get Necromention for your Lotus Field. So.
Yep. So we did that. And now there's a Sign of Blood, so I think we have to Sign of Blood because you really want to find a discard spell.
A Thoughtseize or something, right?
Yeah, there's a couple Duresses. Thoughtseize or Duress would be good.
Brick.
That's bad.
All right.
I think we're going Shieldred next turn.
And got a little punish too. Didn't Sign in Blood before playing a land. Could have played a Hive.
Yep.
So that was the first misstep that John had this entire game, and it's super minor. But otherwise, I've really loved how he's played. But on the flip side, Race does not have a good thing here. I think you start with Vizier because you have to.
Yeah.
And you're hoping you Thespian Stage, Thespian Stage, Thespian Stage, Thespian Stage.
If it's Thespian Stage, we might win the game immediately.
Yeah. Almost assuredly. Untap, 4 mana. Is it there? Pretty good. Pretty good. Sylvan's crying and just straight up, you got to do it now. Well, 1, because you have mana. 2, you can get Field of Ruin in response. So yep. Easy, 6 mana. Writing's on the wall. You're dead unless you do something right now, John.
Yeah, so now the plan would have normally, I think, been to play Shieldred.
But
don't
now,
think that's good enough.
I think you need to find a Thoughtseize. I think you need to activate Bankbuster, and if you brick... All right, well, I mean, this against Poor, maybe.
Yeah, it's still probably the best line. You just, like, hope your opponent...
You get to attack for 4/2 here as well.
Yeah, you hope your opponent's hand isn't great.
Turns out it is.
Yeah.
It's like the cards that will end the game more than likely. This looks to be Race game to lose, pending, not just drawing more Pour Over the Pages where you can't draw that many cards, You definitely just start with 1 Pour Over the Pages, be like, yep, I'll take 6. Okay, or do you just 7? Oh, you just play Omniscience to start. That's probably pretty good.
Yeah, now we can just Dark Petition and Impulse. Oh, we just petition for acquisition for whatchamacallit, approach, and then have double impulse. Yeah, this was just deterministic, and you can tell by how quickly Race is going through it. Yeah,
I'd like to impulse again. I'm gonna select approach the second sun. Nice Shieldred, bro. I'll end the game at 28 life. Well, get out of here.
Disrupt Lotus Field or die.
Or die badly. You cannot just play Bankbuster into draw 2 cards, play a Shieldred, and be like, nah, what's the worst that can happen? Because the worst is death.
And that's bad.
That's
you
bad.
Don't want that.
That's bad. So that is going to be our Race, our lone Lotus Field player.
Yep.
Not playing this hot Will Kruger Connor list, kind of playing the more traditional list at 6-0, looking great. This is a everybody advances to day 2 type thing anyways. So even our 7-0 players going into the next day, they are not locked for top 8.
Oh no.
Not at all. They still probably have to 2-1.
Yeah, still got some work to do.
Yeah. So that is some great news for Race. We got Okay, sounds like we'll just head into the match. We'll talk about standings a little bit later here, but let's check out our backup match here for round number 6. We have DM4X against Magic Snap in the old Rakdos Mirror. And these players are both undefeated, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Got them right here.
These are 2 of the 3 Rakdos players playing against each other that were undefeated.
And yeah, nothing jumping out about the lists. Ooh. Yeah, both have 1 Lily Mane, both have 2 Croxa.
Here comes Croxa as well, and Croxa is going to be a banger. Now there is a Fatal Push to deal with it, and then Graveyard Trespasser to clean it up. But you can only keep one of those cards, so. Here is a Fatal Push to clean up the Crocs at end step, I imagine. And then it's just going to be the classic Castle Locthwain battle. More than likely, this is game 3 as well, since we are so late into this.
This is a 75 card mirror.
Really? They must be buds, or maybe this is, I easily could just be misplaced Ginger's list, and he has such a footprint on it.
They're even playing the same edition of Swamp, at least in their list. Must be some default on the.
Could be, or when you export it, yeah, who knows? Because they have Lorwyn lands in there.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means, but all right. So as it stands here, looks like we have the ability to whip up that Hive, especially with drawing a removal spell. You want to get that Liliana dead so you can at least hang on to it. And yeah, probably just take down the old Lily.
Yeah, and this is a utility land battle, Castle versus Hive, but DM having that relatively low life total, might not have enough time to get up on cards with the castles and then use those to stabilize the battlefield.
Yep, love it. Another castle off the top. That's what you really need as a third castle.
Yeah. That's why you play 3.
Checks out. Checks out.
May have preferred to play the Hive. Probably not.
Yeah, probably not when you're gonna.
It would have been better in hindsight to activate, then play Hive tap, then pitch a castle with the
you're
blood.
already at 9. You got to take minimal amount of damage here, so this makes sense. Here comes the best card in each player's deck. That's Fable the Mirror
That's
Breaker.
game.
That's game. You know what that's gonna do to this board state? It's gonna be game. All right, here we go. We see blood go away, Hive go away. Need like a Shieldred, something like that. Big Shieldred. How about Haunted Ridge and Reckoner Bankbuster?
Big busties.
Big bustos. Okay, so now you just activate Bankbuster, right? Like you're just hoping to top deck a 3-drop that matters. A Braid. Hey, it's not 0.
That will play.
That will definitely play. Now the question is, do you Abrade right now? I'd like to Abrade that Fable before it gets to chapter 2. Can I do that?
I think first this Bankbuster is going to get abraded from the other side.
Yep. It's an Abrade fest, and now you got to choose between Hive or the Shaman. I think you just probably kill the Shaman, but close.
I'm inclined to answer the Hive if you're offered a window to do
off the top. That's pretty good. Do you discard it or not? It's a free discard, but it's also a free draw a lot of cards.
I think I would keep that one.
I think I'd keep it too. You're at 16. Magic Snap has just like way more life to play with and is ahead on battlefield. So that's the kind of card where like if you discard that and then draw 3 Haunted Ridges in a row, you could actually lose this game. If you keep Castle on top, that's probably not happening.
Okay, looks like they kept.
Wow, did I call that or what?
Oh no, they discarded it. I just saw a land and
I called that Haunted Ridge, right? Okay. All right, here comes Hive. And where's that Abrade going? You got to do it in combat if you're hitting the Shaman.
Or the Hive.
Well, no, you want the Hive to. Well, I guess it'll exile something. So yeah, probably true. Now you can discard the Haunted Ridge there in response. Decides against it for no reason that I can anticipate.
Well, maybe they want to throw this treasure away.
Checks out. Checks out. All right, to DM4X, needs to find something. Shelly? Graveyard Trespasser. We like that. Crocs in the graveyard about to pop off? Oh no. Not any longer. And you get to activate Castle? That might have been the best draw, actually.
Yeah, now looks like DM has taken back control of this game.
Yeah.
Finding the Abrade was really big. Now the Trespasser, so.
Oh, and it's a glutton. It's on the flip
it's nighttime,
side.
Baby.
Night to one of these Rakdos players' perfect record, that's for sure. Now you got to hold that Haunted Ridge to just hope to top deck Fatal Push.
Yeah.
If they top deck another Haunted Ridge, then I'm a psychic, okay?
Could also find your one Liliana.
So close. But what I was saying was still kind of the same. Discarding that castle and then drawing running lands. And now if this is a third land, this is the nightmare scenario. Boom. I'm a god. Thank you, Castle Lockthwain. Probably still didn't get him out of this game either, but still, I called it.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. All right,
Oh.
here's a castle.
Unless you're the player drawing all the lands.
Power word kill. Off the top. Power word kill. Off the top. Bang. Anyways, I just started blasting. Yeah, I think so. All right. Num, 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 num.
Kill that thing, attack.
Probably start exiling going creatures in your own yard, huh?
Yeah, you need 3 creatures exiled in the next 3 attacks.
Yeah, there's only 1 creature in all the yards combined, so that's dead. Now you get to keep power word kill in case old Shieldred gets top deck. That'd be really the only way back into this. Or just activate castle, take 2.
Liliana is the draw.
Liliana would be good. How about Blood Tithe Harvester? Not bad, because you could draw into Liliana or Shieldred still. Sack it now.
And
not good enough because you need to pay the ward.
Okay, so they'll go 1 more.
Yeah, still playing Magic here for sure.
And DM does not have many more castle activations here. In fact, probably can't activate. Well, you've got a removal spell for Harvester, but you don't want to use it. You're probably forced to use it next turn anyway.
Yeah, I think I would do it too. It's a little greedy, but
yeah, I think you got 1 more.
Okay, so now power word kill could kill Harvester, and then you get to gain 1. Yeah, that's kind of a brick too.
You can harvest, loot that swamp away.
Yep. Or you go land, power word kill, activate castle. That seems worse. Haunted Ridge. Yeah, now it's an awkward spot. You almost don't want to attack.
Why not?
Well,
there's no creatures.
There's no creatures. So if you attack here, that power word kill threatens lethal, and you have to use power word kill to just not die.
Yeah. I think I would have power word killed the Harvester immediately and just attacked and removed it.
Then you just die to Shieldred. You know, like, I actually like this quite a bit because if you go power word kill on the Harvester, then DM 4X can go power word kill on the Harvester. You have to, or you die. And then Graveyard Glutton attacks for 6. Another land. And I bet Magic Snap goes for this. Goes for lethal and then loses the game because of it. I mean, you can't not go for lethal. Magic Snap was like ahead and then behind, but at this point you are behind. So you have to try to close this out. And if you attack with both, the game's over.
That's game.
Wow. What an incredible game to jump into. Power word kill cleans up 2 different creatures as long as you can target from separate graveyards. I'm not 100% sure if Graveyard Glutton can do that. You got to see the flip side, which you can.
Of course.
Well, we're going to find out real quick. If you can take 1 from each graveyard, maybe we can maximize this Graveyard Glutton here, Adrian. 2 target creatures from graveyards. Yep, that looks to be putting Magic Snap in the graveyard. And honestly, Magic Snap had a different option here. Could have power word killed that, discarded a land, just attacked.
Yep.
But went for the greedy line and got thoroughly punished immediately. Wow. Wow, that was a nail biter right there. DM4X, one of the Rakdos players advancing to 6-0 and has a great start here in this Mana Trader series.
Yeah.
Woo!
That judgment call at the end, and then the judgment call to discard to loot away the Castle Lockthwain.
Yeah.
Punished for both.
Really did. And yeah, just exactly what I called what could be the train wreck scenario of if you don't keep castle and you draw 3 lands in a row, You could easily lose that game. That's exactly what happened.
30 Haunted Ridges. There was only one.
Sure.
You're an idiot.
Sure. Well, I already knew that, okay? I already knew that, but God, let me have something here, Ross.
Never.
Come on. All right, that sounds like we are going to be heading to the break. That's about it for round number 6. So we're going to take ourselves a short 7-minute break, and then we'll be right back with round number 7, which round number 7 will be the last round of the day. And then we'll be doing rounds 8, 9, and 10 tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time here on the same channel. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the final round of the day. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Mana Traders coverage here. It's Corey Baumeister, it's Ross Merriam, it's Yin and Yang, it's us. We got Adrian in the back as well. God, you're strong. It's the Ross Merriam show now. All right, we're going to be bringing you round 7, which is going to be the final round of the day. We do have 10 rounds in total, as you're seeing below, but we're breaking this tournament up because, well, 10-rounder with this many people, you know, I mean, these players would be playing for 11, 12 hours. So we wanted to give them a break a little bit, give ourselves a break as well. And we'll be back for round number 8 at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So make sure to mark your calendar, set your alarms, and make sure to check out the beginning of that action. But we're going to check out the standings here of the players that we have so far. And Ross, how many XOs are we down to?
We got 8 players at 6-0 right now. You can see them there on your screen. Got a couple copies of Rakdos, a couple copies of Mono Green, and then 4 singletons in Lotus Field from Reyes. Is it Phoenix from O. Daniel Akos, Gruel Midrange from GYBA, and Azorius Control from DeKing 3603. So, you know, 6 different.
DeKing is always winning too. It's DeKing and DM4X. They're just always in our top 8s. I feel like we're always saying their names.
Yeah, they're, you know, very good players. Yeah. Daniel Akos, another great player. Reyes, very well known for playing Lotus Field.
Remy Forte is just a name that we know from way in the back. Maybe a lot of y'all no longer know, but Remy, I mean, top 8 at Pro Tours and stuff, right?
Yes, very much was one of the young French players in the 2000s and still around these days.
Yeah,
probably not as young though.
Yeah, if you're listening, Remy, you gotta take some aspirin or something. Your back probably hurts right now. So if you were a young player back when we were starting to play, that means you're old now, just like us. So we appreciate the middle-aged 30-year-old lifestyle now.
The magic boomers.
The magic boomers.
As the Zoomers say.
Exactly. So I believe we don't have a Gruel graphic, but maybe we can just check out GYBA's Gruel list here. This is what we're going to be starting with for our main feature. Then we'll have a backup feature as well to show you. But anything too different here, Ross, with this Gruel deck? Or is this just vehicles?
This is generally how these decks look these days. A couple copies of Ranger class is a little strange, you know, being a split with Scavenging Ooze, but a card I like in decks like this, you got so much mana and you can flood by drawing too many of these mana creatures. This gives you a great mana sink for that. And then we see 3 copies of Miglos here taking over copies of Lovestruck Beast, a 3-1 split there. Miglos is a card that these decks adopted pretty quickly after Phyrexia All Will Be One was released, and for good reason. It's another very good mana sink. Gives you a little bit of interaction with the you know, disenchant aspect, but it's just a very good, efficient creature. You know, I remember, you know, playing a lot of limited of that set. Miglos was a card that, like, it reads really well, but you don't think of that card as a straight bomb, but basically was in that format. It was ridiculously good.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And it was like, you're talking in the limited format? Yeah, and it was just in the best archetype, at least at the time of the Pro Tour. It was the consensus back, the Gruel oil stuff, but yeah. Truly incredible card.
And
how about that hand though? It looks less than incredible.
Yeah, no,
for both players.
No mana creature, which is what you would want to see for GYBA. But yeah, these are both weak hands that are potential keeps still.
Agreed. Yeah, like I could see either one of them, and I could see myself keeping either one of them. Most, you know, I think I would keep it from the opposite sides. I would keep the mono green hand if I was on the play, and I would keep the Gruel hand if I was on the draw, you know? Maybe that's still loose on the draw if I knew my matchup was mono green. I think it's probably just a mulligan regardless for Gruel, and then I'd keep the green hand if I was on the play, I think.
On the draw for Gruel, I think you got a mulligan.
I think on the play, though, too, if you brick, like, it's bad. And even if you hit one land, it's just you get to play Miglos, like...
Yeah, to me, this is about boat.
Yeah.
And a Crone War.
It's about speed. It's
Yeah.
about speed. You know mono green is not going to do anything to your turn 1 elves. You play just as many elves as mono green. I think both decks should probably realize that they both need to be faster, to be honest. I could easily see both shipping, and that would probably be correct.
I agree. I'm on team ship.
And I'm almost never on team double ship.
Yeah. I ship the ships. Looks like we got a double keep.
Love it. Respect. I believe it's still waiting on.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's still waiting. So waiting on our Gruel gamer. Yeah, still 25 full clock up top. I mean, like, what are you looking for both decks, starting with Gruel?
Both decks are mana creature decks, so you want the turn 1 elf.
Elves, just elves and functioning hand. Yeah. That's what they're both looking for.
For Gruel, you want some sort of follow-up threat. If it's a 2-drop or 3-drop, not as big of a deal. But you really want to get to a Crow and War and Boat as quickly as you can. Yeah. Because a Crow and War is far and away your best answer to Old Growth Troll. Which is both a great speed bump and their best way of establishing a bunch of devotion.
Yeah, how does that work if you turn it sideways? Oh, wait, it'll never work like that, right? Because it'll still go back to them and then get destroyed. Okay. So it looks like we are live here now, and we see 1 mulligan to a perfect hand. Like, almost flawless, except needing land 3 for GYBA. And we see a mulligan as well to a basically perfect hand up top. So both players made a great decision. Both of their close keeps, close-ish, ended up being way better hands. So you probably ship one of those elves. Maybe you actually ship a Pelucranos, because I believe they are a legendary. You can flip one and then you can cast the other one, but
that is true. But yeah, it's close, because the third elf is also not very good.
Yeah, but I mean, going elf and then double elf the next turn isn't terrible. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'd probably still put back an elf. Because you probably want to play Pelucranos on 3 anyways. But yeah, on the flip side, our Gruel gamer being able to go Llanowar Elf into Reckless Stormseeker, and then if you top deck a land, jump in the Cadillac and get going, I'm in. What do you put back, though? Scavenging Ooze, probably? Ooze is not good in this matchup.
Oh, yeah. Scooze is hoop soup.
I mean, it does interact with Pestilence Cauldron targets, I guess.
You can exile Storm the Festival.
Yeah, but it doesn't exile. Wait, maybe it does. Does it exile Old Growth Troll as it?
Yep.
It goes to the graveyard, then has to equip, right?
Yep.
So it's not nothing.
And it looks like they decided to keep it over Lovestruck Beast.
Yeah, Lovestruck Beast is pretty bad. That makes sense to me.
But it's so big.
It is large, and it can have its heart's desire.
It's very good at attacking through, say, 3 mana 4/5s.
That's fair. That is fair.
In case there are any of those.
I don't think there are.
No?
You know what else is good at attacking into 4/5s? Azeka's Chariot that gets a Reckless Stormseeker punch.
Okay.
Yeah. I would like to make 6 power and cats, and you have to trade with this or you're going to die immediately. You down? Okay, cool.
But what if they're not down?
I don't know. All right, looks like our opponents didn't want to play Magic.
2 copies of Ramanap Ruins in our Gruel players list. That's a cool one.
This is a spicy one.
They have a very red-centric mana base for a deck with 8 elves. 2 Ramanap Ruins. Still got the basic mountain, a den.
4 Mutavaults. Yeah. Like 8 lands that don't produce turn 1 Llanowar.
So they have 16 green sources, so that's good.
But they have one of my favorite elves. I love that. What is that, 7th edition or is that Onslaught?
That's the 7th edition.
Yeah, I love those. And I do not like that Llanowar. I hate it, in fact. All right, so now what's the play? Do you Llanowar and Scooze to guarantee Azeka's Chariot, or do you go for the high upside of Reckless?
You're going for upside.
Okay, now that gets to be answered by Pelucranos Reborn. It's been reborn a 3-drop instead of a 4-drop. Must be nice to Benjamin Button it and grow backwards when you're reborn, but whatever.
We're not bitter.
And no land off the top.
But
you can't really attack at all now, can you?
Yeah.
You gotta go elf and something. If
only we had, say, a 3 mana.
Wait a minute. What a... Oh, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
I was gonna say elf, give it haste, and then chariot, but that's not how numbers and magic work.
If only we had, say, a 3 mana 5/5 that could attack into this Pelucranos.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
But you have a Scavenging Ooze instead. Yeah, that's very punishing. But that's the thing. Would you for sure just jam Lovestruck Beast instead of doing anything else this turn if you did have that over Ooze? Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just take 6. That seems good. Because the
Slam
flip
jam, thank you,
side,
ma'am.
the flip side of Pelucranos is truly going to come into play. And oh my god, is it going to come into play next turn? No, it won't.
No, it's 6 to transform, right?
Yeah, pretty close. Wait, is it 5? Will you? Is it 6 and then Phyrexian? We kind of can't see on our thing.
I think it's 6 to no Phyrexian.
Okay. So yeah, it is 6. It's technically 7, but they never cast it for the white. Nykthos plus Elf only generates 5 mana, so you're pretty close to just flipping it. And Wormcoil Engine against Gruel is good. More news at 11. That is going to be a huge upgrade in this matchup, to be honest.
Yeah, it's also just being a 4/5 is it's a big card.
Yeah.
You know, these mono green decks used to play Lovestruck Beast in their flex spots to help them in matchups like this. Pelucranos is a big upgrade on that.
That also helped a lot in the mono white humans matchup, which I learned was basically unwinnable after losing to it over and over. But getting a white creature to block when they brave sometimes helped. But yeah, Lovestruck Beast just wasn't good enough.
Are we deciding which 2-drop to cast here?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, I'd play the Ranger class.
I would too.
Because then next turn, when you chariot, you can crew the chariot, pump it to a 5/4 attack as a 6/5.
Yeah, I guess maybe you're thinking about giving Llanowar haste and then playing Scavenging Ooze and having a green open, but there's no creatures that are going to go to the graveyard this turn. More than likely, unless Cavalier were to hit the battlefield. Then you'd get some firepower, and I guess that's better, but I don't know. Ranger class doesn't look very good either, so it's all bad. Get in there. 15. Okay. Oath of Nissa.
It's cool. Let's start with that one so we can nick those after.
Yep, you can do that with the elves as well, but Boseiju is the pickup.
That's slightly awkward. Do you just play one elf here and then leave out Boseiju? Or a potential boat? Or chariot? I think I do.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think the elf is worth that much.
Yeah, and it could play the other elf if you had another green mana, because Pelucranos is one of the few legends that actually makes it cost cheaper, but with Nixos adding colorless, it doesn't actually do anything.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, this chariot here, you're gonna be able to cast chariot, you're gonna get the cats, you're gonna crew it, and then in response to Stormseeker targeting it, then Boseiju it. Can you Ranger class in combat? I don't think you can, right? Maybe you can. Because if you can, it's nice.
No, the sorcery. You can only level classes as sorcery.
What, does it say that somewhere? Or?
Yeah, the very top of the card.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just rules. What does that even mean?
Means, not allowed to do that.
Oh, okay. But one thing that we are allowed to do is flip Pelucranos next turn and get a gigantic Wormcoil Engine in there swinging while simultaneously being able to deal with the Zega's Chariot. Now, the one thing is this Boseiju is face up. It's known. It was hit off Oath, so.
There's really just not much for them to do. Could have sunk a bunch of mana into Ranger class, but this is the only turn where the Chariot is kind of threatening, because next turn the Pelucranos transforms.
Oh, I would definitely still go Chariot, and I would crew right now and target it, and then win if it dies. Then you at least have the 2 mana to level up Ranger class or play Ooze. Probably just play Ooze and save up all the leveling for the next turn, because then you can go level 2 and even level 3 if you really want, but.
Do enjoy level 3.
Prefer level 4. I like to push it to the limit. Push it to the limit. And DMC striked.
And banned from Twitch.
Yeah. All right, so just debating here, and it's attacking.
Probably shouldn't have let him do that. Now we get a cat or wolf token out of the deal.
I'd have to agree with you.
I would have gone for a wolf, but that's just me.
I'm a big cat guy, so you don't want to have a wolf as a pet. A cat as a pet, a little bit better. Doesn't use it. Okay.
Besides, Jerry, it doesn't matter.
Okay, you can also play a free elf here before you do this.
Yeah. Could have done a lot of things. Could have been a contender.
Okay, now you untap. You have that 2, 8, flip, and then you can play Pelucranos. That's gas.
And still have the Boseiju up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was hot.
We're doing it all.
That was hot. Didn't attack with the old wormy.
Hard.
I agree. Now you can't flip the other Pelucranos. These Pelucranoses can simultaneously exist as long as they're not at the same time together or the same side together.
If you transform the second one gets sacrificed to the legend rule. They're both going to trigger off at dying because it triggers off itself and other non-token hydras. You make 4 3/3s.
You get 12 power, 2 death touch, 2 reach.
Oh, you got 4 2/2s? Okay. 4 3/3s.
To be fair, I think I'd rather have the Pelucranos attack naturally, to be honest, but I agree that is appealing. If only they were 4/4s and then you get triggers off all of Kiora. Oh. Wait, isn't Kiora non-token anyways?
I don't think so. Yeah, okay. Just a creature.
All right.
I think I'm willing to just attack with this first Pelucranos. If they want to trade it for 3 tokens.
For sure. I can see staying back on this turn and then attacking next turn, see what they do. And then worst case, if they just take 6 and you're like, I'm a little too far behind on board, I didn't top deck anything else, then yeah, maybe just legend it, keep the untapped one, and have a ton of power. And then I still think that game looks close to unlosable. So yeah, that could be a good option. I kind of like holding back now.
Coward.
Because you actually somewhat like holding the Boseiju as well. I still would have fired it off on the Azeka's Chariot for sure. But the fact that now it's in hand and it's being held off, Ranger class feels like one of the ways where maybe GYBA could come back. So just in response to that level 3, you blow it out and it's just going to be, yeah, going to be insane.
And without that ability to go over the top here, the mono green deck will eventually find something to dominate this game.
Very true. Mono green definitely wins the late game here. And this matchup can be close. A Crowan War is absolutely backbreaking. But outside of that, green does usually go a little bit bigger. So I would put the advantage on mono green. And Pelucranos could easily shift it a good amount. Because I think this was the mono green list that played 3, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
3 copies. Let's go.
All right, our Gruel gamer is clearly double queuing, and we hate them because of it.
Well, you, Kranos, attorney at law.
Just kidding. I like that. I like that. All right. Looks like we are about to do something here.
Is it
Concede?
Continue to think about their turn?
All right, Stomperoo.
Okay.
Forcing the Boseiju action at least now. Didn't float the mana. Doesn't need it. Not Boseiju.
Elf has been stomped.
Whoopsh. All right, what do we do here? You still, I mean, now you probably, God, it's just so brutal. Like, what can you attack with? You can attack with a Azeka's Chariot, pump it, Ranger class it. I mean, I think you just have to do that, right?
Trade with a big, trade with the...
Yeah, and then they just get to flip another one. Like, it's definitely not great. But what else are you doing? Just sitting back, waiting for your mono green player to draw bigger things, storm the festival, and just be completely dead? I think I would probably attack and try to fight the good fight.
You almost need to draw consecutive Akroan Wars.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's just waiting and Akroan warding, but you know Boseiju is there. And that's probably what our mono green gamer is holding up, you know? Like, just saying, this is for a Akroan War. It's the only card that's, like, backbreaking right now, you know?
Yeah.
I like this, though. Get it in there.
The more I thought about it, the more I liked holding the Boseiju, so...
Yeah.
They're just playing around the worst case scenario.
Yeah, instead of the Chariot, which just doesn't matter. When you have Pelucranos. Without Pelucranos, it's much different, because going wide against mono green can actually work pretty well. But here, no. Not against Pelucra Daddy. Reborn to Pelucra Father. Much more distinguished now.
Gray around the edges.
A little bit. Those gray whiskers on those 11 heads of theirs. All right. World's slowest Azeka's Chariot attack coming in. They're in bumper-to-bumper traffic right now.
Yeah, they've played their entire turn leading up to this, but let's think about it for a second.
Yeah. Here's where we're going to mull it over a little bit more.
After it's too late to do anything.
Yeah. All right, counter on that.
Still making more cat tokens, leaving a lonely wolf. I guess that's a flavor win.
That's true. It's the lone wolf.
Oh, one-man wolf pack.
But then you got more wolves and you became more wolf packs.
No. This is 7.
Okay. So this is going to be flipping Pelucranos as well as you can Wolf Willow Haven on the Nykthos, I guess. And it adds a little extra mana. Or you can do that.
Now we go to 10, so we can sack both of them.
Well, you're Pelucranosing.
Oh yeah, we got to do that. So we'll transform and sack one of them.
Yeah, and then you can still leave open a Boseiju. And now do you attack with the big one? I think that would get triple blocked. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
All right, so holds it back.
And even if a Akroan War is the draw, you have the Boseiju, so who cares?
Miglos. All right, it's a Phyrexian on the back, but it is not an artifact or anything, right? It is just...
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a
So,
Hydra.
I guess you just start oozing and eating some stuff, play all your creatures, say go. Hope your opponent doesn't do anything. You know your opponent only has Boseiju in hand, so you know there's nothing special going on. Deep in the tank. There's Scoozy Scoos. 2 creatures in the yard for food. Miglos has an option as well. No attacks available unless you think you can go wide, but there's 9 power and toughness of lifelink, so doubt it. Yeah, I actually really like how our mono green gamer has played this. Is like, if you don't have a Akroan War, you cannot beat me. You know? Like,
Yeah.
you just can't. And eventually they'll draw out of it, and they'll draw 1 Storm the Festival, and then all of a sudden the game is completely over.
Hasty Boat would do it too, because that can take down the Hydra.
But you have Boseiju for
again,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Boseiju covers both.
So here is Bone Crusher to actually get in an attack. Kind of forgot about the Bone Crusher.
Welcome to the Bone Zone.
So the Bone Zone, now that is a 4 toughness creature, 6 power. So you can either, that's just a chump. And the wolf takes it out. Throws away Llanowar. No need for reach, saying lifelink is more important.
Yeah, not a lot of flyers in Gruel decks usually.
Set boats.
Those Those are our boat noises.
Hope you like it. I mean, this was a good attack. This was a smart attack. It made it so there's no obvious good double block like 2/3/3s to a 5/4 kind of thing. So that was about all you can do.
This is a game that if GYBA plays tight and GGN draws pretty poorly, they can win.
You can, yeah. There's another bad draw. Another bad draw. And now at this point, Mono Green is stuck behind saying go. You don't even have that much devotion, so I don't even think I'd make a wolf. I think I would just say go. So you only have, what, 3, 4, 5 devotion? Because Polukranos counts for the mana value, so it has mana value 3, but it has no green devotion, if we're understanding that correctly.
And the Scavenging Goose is also going to eventually become a reasonable threat. I see, what, 1, 2,
3. Yep. Yeah, I can get to a 5/5 already. And Miglos is probably the next creature to get into combat.
Yeah, Miglos gets big, but once we trade for the second Polukranos, then we can start pumping wolves and cats and getting in and just trading down
remember,
tokens.
if we don't cast Cure right now, it's nighttime, and now things are getting pumped +2. Actually doesn't change much. Oh! Not to Beseiju target.
Yep.
All right. I mean, this is exactly how GYBA gets out of this: is draws gas, opponent draws the opposite, and that's happening so far. I mean, this game is not owed just because there were 2 Polucranoses.
But we get to play boat. We get to kill the Hydra token. Then we can crew the boat. They Beseiju it. We find. Oh, are there no forests in the deck?
Well, you can get.
Oh yeah. Can get Stomping Ground.
Stomping Ground, yeah.
So we can get Stomping Ground, pump Skoos to a 4. I guess we don't need the pump from itself because we have Ranger class. Because the Transform Polukranos is it a 6/6?
It's a 6/6, yeah.
Yeah, so we do need it.
Coil.
So we get Stomping Ground, we make Skoos a 3/3.
Yeah.
Target. I guess they wait till you target with the boat with the werewolf.
Yeah. Oh, yep. It almost assuredly
do so you're not going to get an attack in this turn. But you're going to draw out the Beseiju. So now you're drawing super live. If you draw the second boat or a Crowan War next turn, you're crushing this game. This has been a very well-played game from GYBA.
I totally agree. With you.
Yeah. Crew the boat. Target the boat. Beseiju the boat. Boat down.
Boat down. Oh, sad boat.
Sad boat. Okay, still going to get a Stomping Ground here. Going to start ramping up the Skoos, which is fine. You got plenty of life to play with.
Yep. I like the no attacks.
And we're getting down to the point where GGN needs to find something good.
But there's still so many bangers off the top. Storm of the Festival or Cavalier are both just insane.
They're pretty good.
Yeah. Pretty good. Even another Polukranos is totally fine. Old Girl Troll, totally fine. But you also have half of your decks that are awful. Forests, Elves, 2 mana. Wolfwillow Havens, you know? I mean, so equally as many bangers that close out the game. What? This is to get through 2 damage?
I think it might be to get Kiora off the battlefield. Okay. No, but it doesn't. Well, Kiora, or you trade a cat for 2 elves.
All at Kiora? I mean, at that point, it would just be you're going to eat the expensive one, let it go, and then you have a backup Kiora in hand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So now GGN gets a big life buffer.
I don't think the life buffer is that big of a deal.
I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it's not nothing. All right, another Bricksky. Now do you even cast the Kiora? I don't think so. Unless you untap Lair. Untap Lair is okay as another blocker, but... Right, here comes big old Polukranos. Now we're getting frisky.
That's a take ski.
Yeah.
I guess we get to Kiora untap the Pelucranos.
Oh, yeah.
So that's cool.
That is pretty cool. And then you get to play a layer as another attacker, so you can't do any of this all-in attack shenanigans anymore.
No more shenanigans?
I like shenanigans.
Same.
Okay, another Reckless Stormseeker, and that does boost on the night side as well. Still doesn't really mean we can get in there with 2 attackers. I think you're still pretty priced into 1.
You play the 2 cards in hand, right?
Yeah.
And then we can pump 1 werewolf to a 5/4, the Miglos to a 6/4. Then with the ranger class, put a counter on the werewolf that's attacking. So you have a 6/5 and a 6/4.
I like that. I like that. You do turn it back to day, which is not nothing. And you probably lose 1 of your Stormseekers. You could also Stormseeker a Scavenging Ooze, but you're giving away your Ooze then. And Miglos, what are all the abilities again?
1 remove a counter gives it Vigilance and Menace. 2 remove 2 counters is +2/+2. 3 remove 3 counters is Naturalize.
Okay. Not bad.
Don't understand the attack with these tokens.
Neither do I. Yeah, I snapped that off. Just letting Kiora go, I guess. That was the main reason to get Kiora dead. Is there any way to sack the cat with Miglos, right? No. I
No.
think so.
But we're going to eventually get 2 creatures that are bigger than this Pelucranos in combat.
Yeah, and it doesn't have Death Touch, you know, kind of like the true Wormcoil engine. And there we go, Deprive. Now, even if you hit top deck, I mean, there is Karn, but is it too late at this point?
Yeah, what are we going to get?
Filigree Silex?
It's okay.
Yeah. It at least turns things to day and kills 6 power. But I agree, just okay. Let's see, is there any other good hits for a mono green gamer?
Got a boat, they've got a chariot.
Reckoner Bankbuster as a block for 2 mana, I guess. Just as another blocker. I agree, not great.
Yeah, really not great options. And the deck that has all the great top decks has not found them.
Well, it just drew it too late. Now you don't have the mana.
Yeah.
I mean, this would have still been a game-breaking card if you still had a Kiora. If you still had all these devotion pips, because then you get Chain Veil and you go from there.
And I gotta give credit to GYBA. You know,
Yeah.
played this game somewhat aggressively, gave his opponent some extra life in order to whittle down the battlefield significantly, and that greatly reduced the opposing top decks. And now, pretty dominant board position for them.
Yeah. Just the biggest creature on the mono green side, but the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th, and 7th best creatures are on the Gruel side.
I think we're about to have 2 creatures that are bigger than it, because the Skoos can get really big, and the
Yeah.
Miglos is already a 4/4, and as long as you have 2 mana up, it can be a 6/6. So you can get, and it has a counter, so it's a 5. It can be a 7/7 just for 2 mana.
Yep. Now there is not the Filigree Silex, but there is Ratchet Bomb. Same card, basically. Except the other one does have an Oil Clause. Oh, wait, yeah, it's not from the oil deck. Never mind. I was like, you'd think you'd want to do that, but it's the other deck. It's been a long day, y'all. Reminder, everyone, it is round 7 of 10, but we'll be resuming the Swiss tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time for rounds 8, 9, and 10, and the entire top 8. So make sure to join us for the thrilling conclusion of this. But we're still going to be finishing this match before we head on out of here for the day, because this is a nice one.
And this is game 1, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
How much time is on GYBA's clock?
That'd be 5 minutes, Ross. You know what? I would say that's unfortunate since it's been such a great game, but GYBA sat here for like 6 minutes before they even started playing, so I guarantee they're double queuing.
They've only played 8 turns.
But to be fair, in GYBA's defense, I've been playing on Moto this week since the new cards came out, and it's been a little laggy, so it easily could just be that, you know? There's been just been an influx of users rushing to play limited, rushing to play new cards, and I think it has just slowed it down a bit. I could be wrong. Or they're just double, triple queuing.
Yeah.
You know?
GYBA's they gotta get on their horse because they gotta win a second game.
Yeah, at this point, Mono Green is like, I'll just play defense. Haywire might a pretty nice pickup here, being able to kill Ranger class and block something. Yeah, we're about to be into that red timer of death here, and this is still game one.
Yeah, and while I do like their board position, I don't think this game is ending that quickly.
No, this is like a 4 more turn, 5 more turns min.
Yeah. Linorel's at the top is not going to be of any help.
Like GYBAFK for a while, huh?
We know we're getting to the end of the day if I start laughing at Corey's horrible puns.
Yeah. Ross is delirious with not eating. Yeah.
And we have hit the red timer.
Dun 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 dun.
Card into Haywire Mate does get us back to day 2, so these are now back to Reckless Storm Seekers.
What a card. Haywire Mate's just so awesome in this deck.
Linorel summons a friend.
Okay, here's the 2 targets. One at Llanowar. Odd. To get 3 mana, and 1 at Wolf to pump it. So you can attack. This must be a go wide attack, right? Otherwise, does this make sense? Oh, I'm not going to question GYBA because they have played great so far, but
it also might be a I need to end this game quickly attack.
It could also be a I need to kill the Planeswalker attack too that we've been seeing. They've been really sacrificing their opponent's life total to make sure Planeswalkers have been off the battlefield, and rightfully so. You untap with Karn, there's a lot of haymakers for 6. You know, it changes a lot. You can get Boat. You can get Leveler if you can get up to 8 mana.
You can get Boat.
You can get Boat.
Yeah, no, but you know how much we've always wanted one of those.
I know. You can even get a Chariot if you want a land boat. All right, so it looks like we put the counter on one of the cats. And yeah, this is just a really wide attack. You gave Llanowar haste, so Miglos can, I guess, disenchant. And that we're still stopped on GYBA, so it was able to think about disenchanting something. Goes to 38 life points. And now, I guess Miglos has the decision to destroy an Oath or destroy Haywire Mite. Wouldn't recommend the Haywire Mite since it would get destroyed. Or, oh yeah, Elk Time. Forgot that card exists.
Big Jags.
Big Jags, 3 minutes, no problem. Old Growth Troll coming down. This is game 1, y'all. I want to remind you all.
They've played 9 turns. It's taking them 21 and a half minutes.
What's the math on that per turn?
2 1/3 minutes or so.
Instead of Gruel Smath, it's Gruel Chill.
Yeah.
Gruel Chill.
Gruel, what's going on?
Level 3. Haywire Mite. You want to do something? Poked stick. Do something.
I would.
Yeah, me too. What else are you going to hit?
Gonna go to 40. They're not gonna kill you in time.
I guess a Crone War and stuff, but
I don't know if there's enough time to kill the opponent from 40 here.
yeah, I'm pretty sure there isn't. Like, even to just win this one game.
Yeah.
And this is not, you know, the rules you're used to in person. Be like, yeah, I won game 1. Then time got called, so I win. Not how it works on Magic Online. It's a chess clock. Doesn't matter if you're up a game, you drew 3 other games, you're in game 5, and you're about to attack all for lethal, but your time ran out, you lose.
Do not ask for whom the bell tolls for thee.
Yes. I do not like green eggs and hams either. All right, and what are we doing? Activating
Theodore
Rakdos.
Geisel, John Dunn, similar caliber of writers.
Yeah. I feel like you're daggering this writer that's probably dead.
Theodore Geisel is Dr. Zeus.
Okay. Hey, leave them alone. That's where I draw the line on my commentary. All right, Miglos coming on in. This is not the match I expected.
No.
Not at all. Yeah.
We may get to see a cool interaction here because Lair of the Hydra is a Hydra. So if
Yeah.
it dies, Pelucranos will make tokens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Pelucranos make tokens off Lair of the Hydra.
Love it. Okay, there is Storm Time.
There's a good draw. Mono Green might just be pulling it back ahead in this game.
Yeah. That would be the big flex, is Mono Green just go 1-0 win on time.
The gross thing would be if they like combo off and win, leaving 2 minutes on the clock, and GYBA somehow wins 2 games in 2 minutes.
Yeah. You know what? I'm
like,
here for it.
Like, you should not have ended this game. It's like in basketball when they go for the meaningless dunk and they go up 5 and then they just like hit 2 threes with a turnover.
Yeah.
It's like, you shouldn't have done that.
You should not have done that. Oh, too good. All right, so we're going to attackers. Probably nothing from our mono green side. If I'm the mono green player, I'm like, I'm never attacking and I'm going to win this match for sure.
Yeah.
To be fair, mono green wins a lot without attacking in general, but this is for a whole different reason. Miglos and Scoos, I cannot believe they're at 2 minutes on the clock. Haste, trampled to Scavenging Ooze, hold back, love it.
Doesn't matter. Should have played faster. GYBA is getting what they deserve. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is too. I mean, maybe their internet was wrong and then we have all apologies, but if you're double queuing and you time out, no sympathy for me. Not a chance.
I've been single queuing, not streaming, just by myself, and I timed out in game 1. But it was me playing Amulet Titan against Blue White Control.
And you had no idea what you were doing or something?
It's back when Titan played Sakura Tribe Scout.
Oh, yep.
And so I never, ever got to F6 the entire game because you have to constantly be holding up Tribe Scout plus Bounce Land to stop their Field of Ruins on your key lands. And you would just win super long games with eventually setting up Cavern Walking Ballista.
It's so weird, the evolution of Amulets decks. Like, they went from being the most complicated deck ever to then being super easy with, like, Field of the Dead stuff. And now they're kind of back to complicated. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous game. And but it went like 25 turns. And I was literally tapping out for the lethal Walking Ballista as I timed out.
So you can see with the Magic Online thing to see what they're in. They're currently playing a casual Pioneer match, which is this. They're in between matches in a Pioneer League, currently 2-2. Oh, that doesn't mean they're playing. But also building a Mom March of the Machine friendly sealed deck. So they gaming. They gaming. Love it. Yeah. just 6-0 in a $10,000 tournament. Be like, better fire up a Mom friendly sealed queue while I'm playing.
Hope their sealed deck's good.
Yeah, no kidding. Hope you rip some bombs there, bud.
Well, everybody rips bombs and Mom seal.
That's a good point. Okay, I guess I hope you opened packs, then you got bombs. All right, meanwhile, we're going to get back to the game that doesn't really matter because the time's going to dictate it. We got Ezekiel's Chariot coming off Karn. Defense up from our mono green gamer. GYBA is going to come to the realization that this is impossible real soon. Probably typing in chat right now, be like, yeah, this isn't going to work. And this was an incredibly weird last match of the day. I'm not going to lie. Yep.
There we go. There we go. Fall on the sword. At least you left with some dignity.
Oh my god, that was a match of Magic the Gathering.
Honestly, I'm not sure who was gonna win.
I don't either. I kind of checked out once it hit 2 minutes. I'm like, I don't know. My job is done here.
The game's over.
It's gonna end. We all know how it's gonna end. GYBA knew how it was gonna end. And I hope their sealed is good. Yeah, I think you said it best.
The game count's made up and the score doesn't matter.
Yeah. So that we were going to show you a backup match, but they're all done. Believe it or not. So I guess we picked the wrong match to start with there. So we're going to wrap it up here. We'll check standings a little bit. Who do we got for undefeated so far?
Our 4-7-0s are Reyes on Lotus Field, O'Daniel Rakdos on Is It Phoenix, and our 2 mono green players, GGN and then Stranger 99. So
Cool.
Mono green continuing to look very good thus far.
So naturally, we're going to be starting our day with O'Danielakis next round, which will be round 8, which will be tomorrow. And we'll see. There's going to be 2 players that are going to be the king of the hills, and then there's going to be 1. So more than likely we'll be really following those 4 players to start. But then we'll be branching out a lot more because, tomorrow, aka day 2 of this tournament, there's going to be win and ins at X1s. We focused on X and O's because at this start of the tournament, with this large of a tournament, we are very much focusing on the XOs because, they have the biggest chance of doing well and making it into the top 8. So tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time, O'Danielakis with Is It Phoenix is where we're going to begin. And I would say there's a possibility that those top 4 players that are playing, there's going to be 2 players that lock up top 8 spots. But we literally saw it last time from Karate Dom.
Yeah.
Ended up going to XO02, took 9th. So it is for sure not given, and without draws, it's not for sure. So we're going to be seeing more than likely our round 8, and then round 9 will be a win and in between the XO players. And that's the only people that will be locked, is 1 person going into round 10. That's how large these tournaments are, and they get to be pretty difficult. So I want to thank you all for watching today. This was a really, really fun day 1 here at the Mana Traders series. Remember, !Bash Bros in the chat if you want to play next month's series. Next month's series will be back to the qualifier round, so it'll be like our normal Mana Traders series, and that'll be modern. So if you want to get your modern mom cards ready, please do so with that code. You can use that code for 15% off. It's the best code in the land. So check it out. You'll get 15% off your first 2 months. And Ross, I think that's about all I got. You got anything else?
Yeah, good day 1 so far today. Going to be exciting to see how the players, adapt tomorrow. Normally you get like the full Swiss done, so they've got some work to do. Hopefully they, have a nice, easy night. Maybe watch some NBA basketball, because that is what we're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
And get ready to game tomorrow. We got 6 more rounds to play if you want to take down that trophy.
Yep, absolutely. So thank you so much for watching. For Ross Merriam, for Adrian behind the camera, I'm Corey Baumeister. We'll see you at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.